Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mazecast.
Well,
I'm Sarah, and luckily tonight we have with us Ben, who was here from, he's been here on a few Mazecasts, but he was right here at the inception of Mazecast before it was Mazecast, right?
yeah, and then I kind of fell out of it for a while. So a lot of the viewers at this point probably don't even recognize me.
Yeah.
Never heard of Ben before, but out there in the early days, I vaguely remember May.
We're delighted to have you back.
Yeah. It feels good to be back.
And of course, Alex is here. Yeah, and me.
I lost one of my light bulbs, so now I only have one. So it's dark here. So if you'll forgive me, maze casters and gentle viewers.
Kind of looks like the Grim Reaper, which is appropriate for a Halloween episode.
That's right.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Oh, we should have worn costumes.
So
Too late.
we don't have a really clear agenda.
But I thought we were discussing room 35.
Yeah, that's sort of the main thing, is that room 35 has been one of those rooms that is really mysterious. It's my favorite room, or one of my favorite rooms.
Really?
So it is, just because it's so creepy looking. It just has that, it has so many things in it that you can't explain, and yet it has this feeling of, it feels terrifying, even though there's no real reason for it to feel terrifying. That's what I like about this room. But anyway, it's been in the doghouse on the abyss for a long time, with no one really knowing what clues might mean. And I think a lot of us thought it might end up having something to do with the guy. I don't know if that's because White Raven had it on top of the guide page and that was sort of a subliminal thing, or just because it seemed, here's this guide-like figure in the middle of the room, or just because obviously you don't need any clues in this room for what door to take, because there is only one to take. So recently, 515 on the Abyss came up with the idea that all of the three things in the room are meant to indicate what door to take in the next room. So that would
go to 33.
Yeah, exactly. So if you look at 33, the correct door to take in 33 is door 3. And so the three things in this room 35 would be like, there's a 3-legged bench. You can see that there's a leg missing there. There's the couch that appears to be missing one leg, and that's why it collapses. There's the 3-legged fetish in the middle of the room, whatever it is. There's also some other three things, like that's a 3-button suit, a 3-button jacket on that suit. And the 3 hooks, the 3 cushions, a lot of 3 things.
Oh no, the bench, it looks like it would have 4 legs, right?
It could. Well, if you look at it, you can sort of see.
One of them is hidden.
Yeah.
Well, 3 of them.
Like what? Like, it shouldn't be hidden. You should be able to see it.
Oh, it's in shadow and obscured by the top of the bench itself, looks like.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, if you draw a line across, it pretty much looks to me like you should be able to see that last leg there, but that's definitely debatable.
Mm-hmm.
So then what happened was that White Raven said, okay, this is not only a room that is meant to indicate what door to take in the next room, but what doors to take on the shortest path out of the loop. And so that's something that hasn't been
all along the path.
So to get out of the loop, you have to get back to 41.
Mm-hmm.
And so from this room, you go from 33 to 3 to 18 to 13 to 25 to 34 to 10 to 41 to 1, which is a pretty long trail.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty long trail for all of that to be encoded in this page.
It is. And so the question is, are all the rooms somehow encoded in here? White Raven says he has solutions for 33, 3, and 18, and sort of a question mark.
I'm sure you could I find some features in this room with varying numbers associated with them and get whatever pattern of digits you want out of that. But it's not really satisfying. Like there's like 5 or 6 beams in the roof, depending on how you count. There's 6 rungs showing in the ladders. You probably get a lot of numbers from this, but it would feel pretty arbitrary.
Well, and there's also, there's some stuff in the text. So I'll kind of go through what's already, quote unquote confirmed. So in room 3, in room 33, we've already talked about that. There's all the things in 3s telling you to take door 3. Mm-hmm. Then when you take door 3, okay, so what I thought, you guys tell me what you think about this, because White Raven didn't like this one. The 8 in 81, which is actually 18, it's pretty distinctive looking because it's that sort of square 8, which you don't see anywhere else. Rectangular with the top third being the cross piece. And then if you look at the pockets in the suit in 35, they kind of look like the same shape.
And the pocket?
Yeah, the pockets on the suit, like the bottom pockets.
Yeah, I see the right one more, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
They look sort of fringed, like fringed pockets, which I don't know if I've ever seen fringed pockets like that on a men's suit.
I feel like that might be just shadow.
Yeah.
It's interesting. The one on the left, it looks like the line along the very bottom is not completely missing. There's a little dot in there, but mostly missing.
That's true.
Which makes it kind of look like an A.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
That doesn't really connect to anything as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I think it's all sort of supposed to be subtle hints that make you think of the great door in the room. And I mean, what sold it for me a little bit was that, you could say, oh, well, that could just mean an 8 in any room, but no other 8 looks like that.
Huh.
So that was my thought there. I mean, the other obvious thing is that we have a stick figure in room 35 with a light bulb, and then we have a sun and a stick figure in 3.
Right, and on the door to 18.
Yeah.
I think I'd be more convinced if the jacket had an 18 on it or an 81 instead of a couple 8s.
Right.
I mean, there's certainly vertical lines in there that you could pick out, but in the same sense that there are vertical lines everywhere.
That's true. I mean, one thing you could think of is that the room 3 is a mirror image room, right? Like it's all about mirrors and reversing things. So you could kind of think, oh, there's 2 8s, and the center line of the suit is supposed to be like a little mirror image thing.
Yeah.
Pretty far-fetched.
Shall we talk about the other theory that was mentioned?
Yeah, what's the other theory?
There's a theory. I'm just trying to look up who came up with it. It's the one where it's the figure sort of resembles the hangman, like the game. So you would keep drawing this figure up until the end. And you lose if you can't guess the word.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's some validity to this, maybe because you've got the extra piece of wood on the right side there, and of course you've got the hanging things at the top, the hanging light bulb. So,
wait, is the theory here that this looks like the stick figure you draw in Hangman, or that's the scaffolding itself?
Yeah, the scaffolding. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
I can see that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it means though, because you've got the hanging stuff above that might be related. Then you've got the suit, but no man in it. But you hang, and the suit is hanging as well. So maybe there's something to that. I was mentioning to Sarah the other day too. This is not new news. This is old news, but I think there was a couple of words in the room that have double meanings. They're homonyms. There was matches or match. There's suit, I guess. Suit could mean a couple of different things. Were there any others?
Match and suit are the big ones I think people would come back to.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this must mean something. But I think match, there's an argument to be made that match just means, oh, you have to match things from this room to things in other rooms.
Well, the other one was
we're trying to do anyway with rooms in general.
Right, that's true. But maybe
We're desperate to find inter-room connections.
yeah. It's true, but I mean, often the inter-room connections are red herrings, right? Like when you see something in one room and then it appears again in another room, often that's misleading. Like often that's a red herring. So maybe here it's telling you this is actually the thing to do for one. I don't know.
Pretty good.
Match book, match things in the book.
the other one I was going to say was beam, right? That the beam's up top. Could like beam is also for smile, which appears in the text, so that's kind of cool.
Oh, that's true.
Oh yeah. God tries to hide his smile.
Yeah,
Whatever's that worth. I'm still trying to look it up. Who came up with this theory?
I did actually.
Oh, you did. Good for you.
I was the one who first said Hangman, and then 515 brought it up again.
Yeah, that's a good one. Congrats.
Neither of us were able to really do anything with it, though.
Well, I just think it's incomplete. I think there's something else there that is incredibly difficult in traditional Mansonite style.
Yeah. One thing I did want to bring up was I do want to read this. Wait a minute. Just want to read this thing actually bookmarked so we can find it. I just want to read what Vince actually said in July, because it's kind of funny. He's basically saying exactly what has ended up happening, but didn't really get any credit for it. And he had some good ideas. I'll just kind of skim through it. I'm seeing things in the room as being indicative of the past to take back to 41-1. But not in a way that helps in advance. That is, it seems like the rooms relate to 35 in a way that isn't really noticeable until you get to the rooms. So it's probably far-fetched and totally bogus, but dig it. Anyway, he goes on. One of the interesting things he says is in relation to room 18. So that's the one with the fire. In relation to room 18, we have the matches, which relate to the fire, and the F formed by the bench and board by the matches. And
He's left on the couch, right?
So the bench, if you look at the bench, there's actually a pretty good F there as defined by that, where the cut off.
Cool.
Yeah. And so that, I mean, for fire or for the F clap, right? Which defines the right door. Right? The F base clap. So that's pretty good. 13. Yeah, it's got some other stuff there. We can come back to this, but I thought that one was pretty good, the F for the F clef, because also there's F clefs hidden in the arms of the couch. And there's that piece of paper which is hidden on the way out of the correct door. This is an 18. Should we screen share the room? I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you're talking about one on 18 that's very dark.
Yeah, and you can just barely see a piece of paper there in the hall.
With a little curled bit at the bottom.
Yeah, and it seems to be the same dimensions as the one in 35.
Oh, I can't remember where I put this. Does anybody else? Ben, do you have a copy?
I've got a copy of the book. My hands right here. I'm not sure how helpful that'll be, but yeah. There you go. You guys can see that.
I read the PDF, but
That's good. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, look at that.
You can see the page right there.
Yeah, look. And if you at home would like to get one of these, you can probably order them online or something. Made by Christopher Manson.
they're literally a penny on Amazon.com. It's $6 for the shipping plus a penny for the book.
Isn't that?
Yeah, I'm serious. I got 3 copies for a penny each, and it was the shipping that cost me more.
For a new one?
$6, right?
Oh my god. So the other thing I noticed is that there's there's the stick figure in 35. Then in room 3, you have the stick figure on the wall with the hat. And then in 18, the hat is there's the hat as if the stick figure has sort of gone through there. and lost his hat while he's putting up his note. I don't know. There's just like, there do seem to be a lot of connections between this series of rooms that maybe weren't put out before.
I think maybe that guy got his hat off of the figure in 35, took it with him to room 3, which is why he's drawn with a hat there, and then he left it in room 18.
Right. Is it terrible?
I mean, it tells a story.
Yeah, it's like a little story almost. It's something.
Yeah, Vincent used to describe this as the Def Leppard room.
Why was that?
Well, because the totem figure in it has one arm, like the drummer from Def Leppard.
Okay.
That thing.
Okay.
Well, one thing about that, so in 35, you've got the figure pointing, and maybe that thing that looks like his missing arm is supposed to be a 1. So it's like this way to get back to room 1. Okay, so I saw something else that's kind of ridiculous. So the crate in the corner, the bottom left, that little crate.
Yeah.
So one of the rooms on this path out is room 25. And that room actually says specifically they were disconcerted at the apparent lack of clues, perhaps in another room, right? So it even specifically says something about there being clues in another room. But the clue I found is terrible.
It's an apparent lack of clues in 25, suggesting that there are, in fact, the clues they want there.
That's true. That's true. That's a good point. That is a good point. And this clue is so bad. Okay, so
really, we should.
Go ahead.
It would be good if it turns out there are clues on every room.
it would be great. It's just they kind of get ridiculous in some of the rooms.
Some of them.
Okay, so this crate, it has 6 slats, like the 6 slats in the doors that you can go through in 25, which is 34, 13, and 35. The other one has 7 slats for some reason. And then if you look in the corner of the crate in 35, there's a little L. In the corner.
Right, little corner bit on there.
Yeah, it's a pretty good L, so maybe it's saying take the left-hand door.
Or it's saying you lose.
It's saying you lose.
It's the wrong way around for an L, isn't it? It would be a backwards L.
Oh, it's a backwards L, it's true.
Chevron, it could be pointing the way.
Yeah, oh, that's true.
Yeah, if you look at that as like the head of an arrow, it's kind of pointing out to the totem.
That was highly controversial, though, when I brought that up for room 15.
Oh my god.
I think it's controversial here, too. I mean, you don't really need a clue to point to the totem on this page because it's already the obvious thing to look at.
Right. Right. I mean, it's not like every door that you take along the path out is the left-hand door. Although I did find something. Okay, so in the text in 35, you have. Yes, I said right away, there's one right. I'm sure you're right. There's a second right. She was immediately suspicious, blah, 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 blah. We left the thing. So there's one right left. Okay, and so as you leave this room, you take the left-hand door. Then in 33, you again take the left-hand door. And then in room 3, you take the right-hand door. So it's actually the perfect opposite to what the text said.
I was hoping it would be that after this room, you then take the right door, and the left door.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, that'd be so great.
There's something to that, I guess. If it's the complete opposite, then at least it's consistent.
Yeah, well, I mean, the guide clues, right? If he's steering you wrong, but still, it's pretty.
Yeah, so sorry, I'm realizing pretty much all I'm doing is talking about how much better this would all be if the book were slightly different.
Oh, man. I don't think that's all that unusual for these guys.
Right.
Somebody has to, fill the void.
Yeah, and I didn't come here with solution ideas of my own, so this is pretty much what I'm doing.
That's all right. We need that. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I came up with? There's a lot of stick things. So so under the couch in 35, there's like a little stick there.
And one underneath the bit with the right cushion.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, I'm talking about under the left leg.
Oh yeah, there's a stick there too, a longer one.
Yeah, and that's pointing to 33, and then in 30
Well,
you have
it could also be pointing away from 33.
yeah,
On which end of the stick is which?
that's very true. That's very true. However, it seems to me to be a pretty good match for the drumstick in 33. And that drumstick is pointing to room 3. Or the ceiling. But you can't go to the ceiling. Grasping at straws.
Yeah, it does kind of look like a straw.
What do you make of all the flammable stuff? I mean, you do kind of tend to want to make that.
Maybe the point of this room is to make the reader want to burn the house down.
I almost feel like it just contributes to the sense of unease. Like the whole thing is just going to go out.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that you like this room because it looks very creepy and disturbing.
Yeah.
The one that I think of as the really creepy room is room 6, which is the other one with just a single numbered door you can take.
Right.
Which it's interesting that those rooms have that in common as well.
That's true. Well, and yeah, and I mean, part of it is just feel like, what is this here for? Why is this here? And that just adds to it.
No space, but I mean, Manson could have put labels on some of those blank doors in 35 without changing the structure of the maze that much.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well,
It makes sense that he didn't if it's supposed to be clues to
yeah,
do.
and I wonder if that means anything that he didn't decide to just fill that out with a door to something in the trap or whatever.
Right. Well, I guess it does emphasize that the clues are not supposed to tell you anything about what to do in this
Door
one.
to take.
Take it with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, the existence of those two rooms is the main thing that makes it look like, yes, there are messages hidden in these things that go beyond which door to take.
Right. Well, and hope.
And stuff like room 45 has its own weird stuff going on.
Right. Well, I hope when or if someone ever figures out the guide puzzle, like I feel like I've tried a lot of terrible things. It's someone else's turn to try a lot of terrible things. I mean, it would be really sad if you're out in time.
Well, that it's not to say that nobody's ever going to figure it out. I think we put it out there on. Yeah. Sorry, let me just. We put it out there here and on the Abyss. So I think there's, if ever there's like a third resurgence, I guess if we were to be here the second, then I'm optimistic about it. I don't think that this is the end.
No, I don't think.
Nah.
Well, no, I guess what I'm saying is I don't know if it'll happen in this incarnation of Mazers.
Oh my God!
I'd have to wait for a future generation.
Yeah.
We could not have more, clues about it. Like we really.
Well, having a lot of clues is our problem.
It's true. It has been a problem in the past. That's for sure.
I think we need to eliminate some of these.
Well, I'm definitely out of ideas on the guide puzzle. I have no idea.
My guess is it's the Minotaur.
Yeah, I mean,
that seems to fit the best.
Yeah.
We have no one to dispute us, so all in favor say.
Are we solving it right now? By popular vote?
We're just voting and saying it is, and we're just going to move on.
Okay.
That's just what it is. I think we all agree, though. Oh, actually, Alex, I don't know if you agree.
Me? I think it's a good.
Devil.
What about you, Ben?
I think it's the Minotaur.
That settles it then.
Yeah.
Nobody else could make it here tonight, so I guess they're out of a vote.
That's right. You snooze, you lose.
Like
Decided.
that, Team Devil.
It's done. It's done. Oh, I had devil horns. I was going to wear them tonight.
Oh.
They were blinking, so my kids can see me when I'm trick or treating. Where is she?
I mean, it's a good bet, I guess. We've talked on other episodes about all the different symbols in the maze. You know, rings, bull, what look like nose rings in a bull. I guess I always think of the Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Yeah, all those references to the guide's parent.
Yeah,
All seem to fit.
There's so many Minotaur things that I feel like, and you know, even to compile them will take a long time if we do, you know, it would just be, I just can't imagine anyone else that would be more satisfying.
yeah. Thematically, it makes sense, I guess. White Raven still says that there's this puzzle around it.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I'm still satisfied with it with just the evidence that we have. I think there's enough evidence speckled across the rooms that. I
don't think there needs to be like a puzzle where you rearrange the letters and it spells out Minotaur or something. I think just the textual evidence about the guide's background is convincing enough.
Yeah.
I agree, but at the same time, we know there is some kind of puzzle that we're like.
We don't know that.
I don't have any doubt. I really think that that's there. I think that it's made such a big deal of that. You know, if it weren't true, Manson probably would have said something.
Yeah, because he's so good at communicating with us.
Yeah, but don't you think if people were saying totally false things about his own?
But they have been. Remember when
Too.
here?
Well, there's so many false things about Maine.
But they don't say, I talked to Manson and there's this huge puzzle and I know the solution and he said it was correct. That's like a different order of.
Yeah,
Does Manson even know that that's been said about him?
Yeah.
I'm unclear about that.
Well,
I don't know the extent to which he reads the Abyss site.
yeah.
And I tried knocking on his door that one time, but he didn't answer.
I feel like we have. Well, that explains.
I can't believe you did that.
I can't believe you did that either.
I think he just wasn't home.
He definitely would have answered the door otherwise. Random people with umbrellas.
The umbrellas make it clear that we're fans.
Fans with weapons.
You should have worn gloves.
He should have chosen a less threatening symbol to put in the book.
Oh my god. I don't know.
All right, so I think we've basically solved room 35 here.
I have one more thing to say about it, which is, okay, there is actually a totem in room 41. And that word
Is
is,
that the one with the mushrooms?
yeah, you could call that a totem.
You could. I mean, you could call the one in room 35 a totem, too.
Well, and they do in the text.
Yeah. Yeah, they seem uncertain about it.
Yeah.
And it's not the thoughtful one who calls it a totem.
I kind of wondered if, so they call it a totem, a tribal fetish, a work of art, a signal, a warning, and a direction. So I kind of wondered, I don't know, I didn't really get anywhere in this, but I sort of wondered, do each of those names kind of refer to something in each of the different rooms? That would be cool, but I didn't really get there.
And It appears like the idea that the signal is wrong. It's the guide is quickly agreeing with that, probably to throw them off.
Right.
Almost like that's a double bluff, and that is the right interpretation.
Right.
Although I'm not sure what that would even mean to rule out it being a signal. That's kind of vague. Like, should we not be trying to get any information out of it? Is it not telling us anything?
Right. Well, I mean, because people have tried to do things with just the fact that it's pointing the direction that it's pointing. I mean, if you transport it into the next room, it is pointing at the right door. The other thing that's already been talked about is that if you actually superimpose the pages, like
Yeah,
or and you kind of look at it through the
right. And yes shows up on that blank panel.
exactly, and then the thing in 35 is pointing at the correct door as well. If you do that, that's kind of interesting. I mean, the fact that
It's a different sort of solution than anything else we've seen in the book. That's a neat one.
yeah, it's kind of cool. Like I kind of like it. I think they came up with it in the last Mazecast. Yeah, I kind of like it. I think it's interesting. I mean, it requires you to break out of the idea that you're actually in a maze because you couldn't do that if you were in the house. But I mean, 29 is kind of the same. You have to turn the page around.
I mean, if you were in that room physically, you'd be able to work it out too.
Yeah, and you kind of
The puzzle is very much present for this specific viewpoint of looking at the page.
right.
Like if the observer moves a couple feet to one side, then the illusion on room 29 is broken.
Yeah. Yeah. I always. So people say the fact that its face is covered is just, it's guide trying to hide his smile. This is meant to represent the god. I don't know. The shape is interesting to me. If you look pretty closely, it looks a lot like a heart.
The shape of like the head of it.
Yeah. It has sort of a lump on one side and then the way it's wrapped on the other side and then it points down.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's something under those wrappings.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's not just the stick. There's definitely something going on.
Right.
It could reference room 25, where the door that you take, the picture of the guy over top of it has his eyes closed. So he's flying like the thing. It's probably a stretch.
Has one glove, like Michael Jackson.
I think Alex has already been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been explored and doesn't really lead anywhere.
For those who don't know, this is explained in an earlier episode, I believe, room 24.
The Michael Jackson's guide theory. Much discussed.
Somebody wants to talk about some other rooms too, right? In relation to the guide.
Yeah, or the other thing I would really like to talk about, actually, because it annoys me, is room 3. So you look at room 3. If you look at that room in the mirror, you can read everything except the this way sign.
Which is upside down as well.
Right, exactly. So you have to turn it upside down and then look in the mirror to see that one correctly. And I had this whole theory worked out about how that sign looks. It's reasonable that it could be hanging from the ceiling. Like it looks like it could be a fixture hanging from the ceiling. And like most of the stuff in Maze, which is on tripod, wouldn't look right hanging. And I had this whole thing about the altar round, the text. Anyway, whatever. Raven says he has some kind of crazy solution that is missing from this room that must have something to do with that sign. But
yeah, I would like the idea that this room is in fact upside down and we're getting the wrong viewpoint of it here, but the pots don't fit that.
that's a problem.
They There's even water in them, right?
Yeah, there's water in there.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Unless gravity is reversed too.
Or maybe the water's frozen. Is that supposed to be the cold part of the room?
And the pots are glued to the ceiling.
Right. Exactly. I don't know.
So wait, was that guide related, or is that just something that was buggy?
No, that's just room. That's room level. That's just room level. It's like finishing off room 3. That's driving me crazy. But yeah, no, sorry, that's not guide related. The guide, I'm really frustrated with the guide puzzle because I just feel like I don't know. I just don't know what else you could do with room 43.
Nothing. I don't know. There's shit. We've done like 3 episodes on the guide, and we haven't come up with anything.
I know.
Yeah, all we know is that he wants us to keep believing in ourselves.
Yeah. Everyone loves them, except Yeah, it's pretty frustrating. Like I feel that we're very. All I can think, because I keep just reverse engineering solutions that will get to the Minotaur.
Right.
Because
I mean, that
seems reasonable.
Yeah, and then obviously tempting approach if you got a strong candidate for the solution.
Yeah.
It's really not to use that information.
Yeah, exactly. But it just ends up in ridiculous ideas, which I post regardless, but yeah, they're pretty bad. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of detail in that room, so clearly there can be stuff hidden in there. I've done some stuff with the text. I can't figure out anything with the text. I feel like you should just devote a solid 24 hours to this, Ben, because we need a fresh mind on it.
Yeah. Yeah, if I spent 24 hours just staring at this room, I bet I'd have a bad time.
Something could happen. Oh my God. I really don't know. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, I think White Raven gave us a couple points for this room, but I still feel like some of these clues are working together to produce other results. So I'm not sold on.
Well, officially the room is solved. Like for the room level stuff, officially it is solved.
No, yeah, I'm not talking about that.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, as far as if you're gonna, if technically you're just talking about 33, then yeah, sure, it's solved because no one else can go. But
oh, you're talking about 35 now.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I'm talking about 35. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. No. I mean, I think we have a bunch of ideas that could be posted.
43 has the solve meter at 5 out of 5, but with a question mark.
Oh, they all have the question. Just an acknowledgement.
Good. Just an acknowledgement that, yeah, this is all solidly confirmed with Manson.
Or there could be more stuff to find. Like, I was ridiculously proud to recently find something new in 5 that I thought was pretty.
No, what was it?
Well, there's kind of a Sleeping Beauty thing going on, because there's the castle and the briar, like the thicket against the wall, and it turns out that's a briar rose. That it looks like a briar rose.
Going on the steps.
Yeah, okay. And that's the original name of the fairy tale. It's Briar Rose. And anyway, there's a lot of connections there. So that was yay. There's always new stuff to find, that's for sure. Okay, now someone has to just start complaining vociferously.
That shouldn't be hard. We haven't really gotten anywhere here. I mean, we have talked a lot, but
there's nothing to complain about.
It's true. Nothing's happening.
Okay. I'll do a little recap.
I would complain about what's been posted on the Abyss about the riddle of the guide, but I think anybody looking at that page would have the exact same complaint. There's not much point.
Yeah, and there's basically 3 episodes complaining about it already.
Good, that might be enough.
Well, I don't know. I don't hate it as much as everyone else seems to. But
I don't really hate it. I don't hate Jetiel solutions either. I just don't think they're right.
yeah,
Sarah came up with something for room 43. There's a tiny little 5 hidden in one of the decorations at the top.
yeah. It's
Come on, is it a numeral 5 or is it a V?
No, it's a real 5. It's for real, but
Middle 5 for sure.
I don't see it.
Okay, so it's upside down, of course. It's over. So okay,
Page upside down.
before you turn it upside down, it's over on the right side, like the column beside part. This part sign,
Okay.
and there's that round face there. And if you flip that over and look at that round face, you can see the 5.
Oh yeah. Hey, yeah, that's an actual 5.
It's a pretty clear 5, right?
Huh.
And I thought I maybe saw a 7 in the nose of that same little face.
I see like a triangle.
Yeah, there's
I'm more convinced about the 5. I don't know about the other whatever it is.
right. Yeah, it's less clear. But a 5 on its own is not very helpful.
Oh, wait, and look at the other side. Like, the other side of the room, and
Yeah.
the face there corresponding to it. And the right edge, or left edge, I'm looking at upside down. That kind of looks like an 8. And it's not as clear as the 5, though.
Oh yeah, maybe. And supposedly somehow the trefoiled hat helps with this. Whether that means we're supposed to be looking for things shaped like trefoils, or whether there's something.
Or things that just vaguely come at 3s or are suggestive of 3s.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think there's probably a lot of that in every room, or
Yeah.
most rooms.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing for this room is that I think that central face, the sly face, which I think is the sly face, has that weird eye over on the left side, and like that has to mean something. It has its right eye, which is looking straight ahead, and then it has that
Right.
left eye that looks like it's migrated or something.
The left eye is just not even visible. I think the bit above that, which I think you're talking about being the migraine eye, is just patterns of shadow on the forehead.
No, what I'm seeing is like it's a little half circle, just like the right eye, but it's over in the crook of the face.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
Pretty clear.
Hmm.
But it's weird.
No, I'm not sure that's meant to be the eye, though.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure either because of the weird way. A weird.
It's hard to work out tiny features on this scale in Manson's art. It's all the little cross hatching, dot, and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, he even mentioned once that some of the stuff he had to change because or didn't come out the way he wanted it to.
Well, he drew it much bigger than this,
Right.
apparently. So he wouldn't have.
He would have been working on a larger scale than this. Well,
Yeah, exactly. So he wouldn't necessarily have known exactly how clear it would be once reduced.
Hmm.
So it's conceivable that there is something that is really there that might be hard to see.
yeah, in his original, there was probably on the forehead of that sly face was writing spelling out "I am the Minotaur," but when it got scaled down to this, just vanished.
Exactly. So annoying.
You think he would have caught that at some point in the publication process?
That's right. Some proofreader somewhere should said it. This guide riddle not gonna work. Well, I guess I sort of wonder. I mean, I would really like to know more about his process, but apparently he's not ever going to talk about that. But it would be interesting to know if he tested any of this on anybody.
Right. I would guess that if he did, then he didn't really mind when they couldn't make out any of the solutions.
He probably thought, great. It's perfect.
Okay, that must mean it's hard. It'll give people a difficult time for a bit.
Yeah. For years.
This was in the 80s. People didn't really understand that well how easy it is to make a puzzle way too hard accidentally.
It's not like puzzles were a new thing in the 80s.
Yeah.
Look, we can't even solve this thing with Google.
I know, that's the thing, right? Like, I feel like anything I solve, it's only because I've been Googling for 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Which would not have been possible, obviously, when I was learning to type on a typewriter. Yeah. All right. Well, we've accomplished a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, is there anything else we need to do to close the episode out? I'm not familiar with current Mazecast customs.
Usually things just peter out, and then Vincent will say, "Oh, this is the last Mazecast," and everything's
Okay,
which
so
has not really.
that's what I'm used to from back in the day then.
Well, we could talk about what we might do next, or should we just wait and see what transpires?
I don't know. Is there a particular room that hasn't been covered yet that you think would be interesting?
Well, they've all been covered at this point.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they've actually all been covered, and so anything we do now is just kind of. That's why we've talked about the guide puzzle quite a bit.
We could do the back cover.
We could actually.
We haven't done that.
No. The barcode.
Have we done the prologue and stuff?
The barcode. The barcode has the answer to the guide.
Oh my god.
You scan it.
We solved it. Have we done though the title page and the prologue? Alex?
Have we done the? Yeah, I think we touched on it, but we definitely touched on the first page, like not the cover, but the first page.
The prologue or the direction?
Both. We've covered both of those. Just
Okay.
the cover we briefly covered. Har. I haven't covered the ISBN numbers and where it was published. And I actually asked Vince about that because there were some numbers at the bottom, some cryptic numbers on my copy, which was published in Mississauga, which is Canada, for those who don't know. Oh, no. Oh, sorry, Richmond Hill, still in Canada. Anyway, the numbers on my book say 5, 7, 9, 10, 8, 6. And then Vince...
Not on mine.
You see, that's the thing. Vince assured me that was some kind of a publisher code, that it wasn't one of Manson's codes.
Yeah, it is the publisher code.
Has anybody tried converting those to letters?
No.
As a person in publishing, I can assure you.
Okay.
Definitely a publishing code.
Wait, Sarah, do you have the same number?
It could also be another sort of code too, right? I mean, there's no reason that the publisher code on that one Canadian copy couldn't also be a cipher for some solution.
Maybe the Canadian guide is different from the American one.
So I have 2 copies at this point because I ended up scribbling all over one of them because I was getting so frustrated. Not scribbling, but like actually making.
Sure.
So I was annoyed. I'm like, I've ruined my copy. I have to get another one. So at that point, I realized I had a problem, but it's okay. So I have the American copy with me right now, and it just says 20. So usually they have something to do with the number of the printings. I can't imagine it's the 27th printing. That seems a lot, but
On the back cover of the one I'm looking at right now, in the lower left corner, so not the one with the barcode, it says games rep 0000000770:25.
Mine just says games, doesn't have all the numbers. But mine does.
Oh, interesting. So So I got a copy with more clues.
Manson went through every single copy that was sold. And what happens is everyone who owns a copy has to get together, put all the numbers together.
That sounds like something Kid Williams would do.
The end.
Maze is always meant to build communities.
Man. That'd be so weirded out by that. Wow.
Alright. Well, I don't think we're getting anywhere further tonight, so let's
Yeah, when you get to the stage of
call this episode done.
it's the end. Yeah. Okay. From everyone
So,
cast. Thanks for amazing with us. We'll talk to you again soon.
hope to see you next time.
Amazing.
There is a next time.
With more puzzle solution.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll know who the guide is. Maybe we'll have found new riddles to work on. But whatever happens, we're Mazecast.
Good night.